Hello. Today again I'm with a very special person. He is the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka to India. I'm with Sri Prasad Kariyawasam. Hello.
Well, my pleasure to appear before your channel, which is in my view becoming increasingly popular in India.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you have decided to talk to me on the eve of a very important occasion for us.
Yeah, 65th.
65th Independence Day and our National Day.
Mr. Kariyawasam, I'll talk about bilateral trade. You know, if we see the India and Sri Lanka bilateral trade, right now trade is between approximately $5 billion. Recently, we have set a target, and target is by 2016, we should achieve $10 billion of trade. Can you please tell us how you are going to achieve this?
Well, already Sri Lanka is the India's largest trading partner in the region.
Yes, you're the highest in South Asia.
In South Asia and in the region, South Asia. And for Sri Lanka, globally, India is the biggest trading partner, globally.
Right now it's 15 to 20%.
So we have lot of complementarities that can drive our trade forward, bilateral trade. For instance, you have a massive manufacturing base, which includes vehicles, heavy industries, and many other products that Sri Lanka needs, and it is more economical for Sri Lanka to procure from India. Vehicles come in large numbers, for instance. Same way, Sri Lanka also has the potential to export much more items than a basket of trades that we have at this point. We export certain items, but our largest trading item is, export item is tea and garments, which are still under quotas. Of course, we expect that those quota system to wither away, making giving the ability for Sri Lanka to export more. And we also expect, as our economic strength grow, already we are a middle income country, our per capita income is $3,000, and we think it will reach about $5,000 in 2 years' time. Then the capacity, the purchasing capacity of our people will increase. They will need luxury goods, they will need industrial goods. First port of call will be India. So it's naturally it's going to increase. And India today is producing quality products as well. Your vehicles today are good quality. Those days we used to buy mostly from Japan, now we buy from India.
You know, very recently the duty has been hiked over there in Sri Lanka, and that is going to discourage automobile industry in India.
Yes, it was duty was hiked for automobiles across the board. And not only for Indian vehicles, but across the board. That was a temporary measure to control our balance of payment issues, which is very important because macroeconomic stability is important for any country. And we are very conscious. We have had a good growth in the country. We have last 3-4 years we have grown above 8%. Even this year it's 6.8. But fiscal consolidation, macroeconomic stability is important, so balance of payment was becoming little difficult, and therefore the government took a temporary decision to do that temporary thing. As things improve, we will lower the tariff again.
That's good. Before going further, it's time to watch a special report on India-Sri Lanka bilateral trade.
The India-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement has led to significant upturn in overall bilateral trade. In 2011, the overall trade turnover was $4,919 million US, while it was $3,020 million in 2010. This is almost an 8-fold increase from $658 million in 2000 when the Free Trade Agreement came into effect. During the period between January and August 2012, bilateral trade turnover amounted to about $2,722 million. During this period, Sri Lanka's exports to India were about $332.73 million and imports from India were about $2,388.74 million. India has emerged as the largest source of imports and the third largest export destination for Sri Lanka. India is also now the largest trade partner of Sri Lanka, while Sri Lanka is India's largest trade partner in South Asia.
You know, the bilateral trade between India and Sri Lanka, I see lots of deficit from your side. The ratio is 10:1. You need to balance this trade. How you will do that?
Very good question, and in fact I briefly explained to you our main, the products that we can possibly reach out to Indian market, because Indian market, very discerning market, very competitive market. We must have a certain quality and certain capacity to export.
Right.
So two major items are apparel, and other one is tea and its finished products.
True.
So we hope that we should be able to reach to Indian market with that. Other than that, we have been able to export furniture products. There are Sri Lankans who are investing already in India. There are big investors of Sri Lankans in India. Brandix India Limited, owned by Sri Lankans, has invested $1 billion a project in Visakhapatnam. Then Mass Holding has another factory, apparel factory. Then there is there are few other. There are Damro, who has set up furniture factory. Furniture is another item. So there are several items like that. India has a larger capacity to export Sri Lanka. We have small capacity. In those small capacities, we should try to reach out to the Indian market, and that should create the opportunities to making the balance of trade better. But given India's economy is big and its capacity is big, we cannot perhaps expect to the short term to be a perfect balance.
Right, true.
But we should try to narrow the balance so that both sides, business communities, feel confident.
True.
So that's a very important aspect. And we want to work towards that.
2-3 issues where India and Sri Lanka is having some kind of problem. One is fisherman issue. How to solve that? You know, 2008 there was agreement, but after that there's not sincere effort from Sri Lanka.
First of all, I do not like to classify issues between Sri Lanka as problems.
Okay, great.
We have a very robust bilateral relationship. And it's a very age-old relationship. And we have a very good understanding with people of India and the leadership of India. It's bipartisan understanding between both countries.
Right, true.
As neighbors, good neighbors, sometimes things can, there can be issues where there are dissonance. I would call dissonance, or sometimes minor disagreements.
Yeah, true.
There are issues like that. One issue is, very rightly you mentioned about fishermen's issue.
Right.
Large number of fishermen from Tamil Nadu got used to fishing in Sri Lankan waters during the time of the conflict, and they cut across the international maritime boundary line and fishing in our waters. Now that Sri Lanka's conflict is over, as you know, conflict was over 3 years back. Sri Lankan Tamil fishermen, who are the brothers of the Indian Tamil fishermen, wants to fish in their waters, and they complain that large numbers, for a day nearly 600 boats coming into our waters, and they say, and they are engaged in methods like bottom trawling, and nylon nets, which are internationally banned items. And that is damaging the seabed as well. So we have an issue there. And best thing is for both. Of course, Sri Lankan fishermen now sometimes get caught fishing in your waters. They are not Tamil fishermen. They are Sinhalese fishermen from the south who fish in deep waters, go after tuna. They also spend sometimes, they get caught in your waters, spend some time in jails. That happens. But we are appealing to a fisherman not to cross the international maritime boundary line. And in 2008, what we agreed was temporary arrangement during the conflict period. Now conflict is over, so we have to get back to the observing international maritime boundary line in terms of fishing resources. So that is the objective, but these are livelihood issues. We cannot we cannot expect fishermen to kind of roll back what they have been doing for a certain time in a day or two. We are encouraging them to stop this practice, but in the meantime we have ensured that there is no violence in the sea. there is no the conflict in the sea.
You know, India is the largest FDI provider in your country. But when I see their rules and regulations and all, that is not tilted towards us. Do you have any plan for a special economic zone dedicated to Indian industry?
India is already the largest investor in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
There are many, now we have Taj Group is there in big time.
Yeah.
ITC is going to set up a hotel.
Right.
There are many others, Krish Group and lot of construction companies are there.
Yeah.
Our view is that India is our natural trading and investment partner.
Right.
And we should kind of, we are liberalizing our investment regime in such a manner that Indian private investors can just enter into our market and do business. As far as we are concerned, having special economic zones, there is no, we have a problem of land, problem of infrastructure.
Right.
So we feel that rather than creating a special area, Indian investment can go anywhere in the country. It's a kind of a whole country is a special economic zone as far as we are concerned.
Okay.
There is no need to have one little area. Whole country is available and already it is happening.
We have already signed the double taxation agreement avoidance.
Yes, exactly.
It's already there. So
already there. Therefore, we are what the government is doing is creating the enabling environment where Indian investors can thrive in our country. And we have in our country, as you know, foreigners can own 100% land. Okay. Land can be owned by 100%.
Okay.
Repatriation profit is allowed. No. So Indian can own the land. Now, in fact, ITC own the land at their property. We are one of the countries in South Asia, perhaps the only country that allow 100% ownership for foreigner land.
Okay.
So we are creating a regulated regime that will enable Indian investor to treat the whole country as a special zone. That is our approach.
You know, 13th amendment of your constitution is going to happen, where you're thinking to provide more autonomy to province. Do you think that will create lots of problem like how you will collect the tax for union government and then province, how you will distribute that tax? Can you please explain that?
I would call our constitution is still in the making.
Okay.
We have 13th amendment to the constitution in the constitution, but some of the provisions cannot be implemented due to various factors.
Okay.
So government has therefore set up what is called Parliamentary Select Committee and invited all stakeholders, all parties, including Tamil National Alliance, to take part in that with the view to discuss thoroughly as to what are the kind of next constitutional steps required for power sharing, both in the provinces and at the center.
Right.
Sri Lanka is a multi-ethnic, multicultural country.
Right.
If you look, if ethnic-based power sharing may be very difficult, because if you take Colombo city, Colombo city has more Tamils and Muslims than Sinhalese.
Right.
And Tamils are not only in the northern province, but they are in the central province also.
Right.
Large number.
Right.
So we have to provide a kind of a power sharing with the provinces and at the center as well, so that we allow and we enable every Sri Lankan, be they Sinhalese, Tamil or Muslim or Burgher, others, to feel that they are equal and then provide them their dignity. So we have to evolve a model that suits us. And that is the effort at this point.
Okay.
And hopefully in time to come we will have another constitutional amendment that will usher another package that will satisfy all parties involved, all stakeholders, all ethnic groups.
It's time to go for a very short break. Please stay tuned. You're going to provide some kind of autonomy to provinces.
We want not to share power in the provinces, but we want to share power in the center.
India can be a good example to govern Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka and India are the only two countries who have had in the South Asia continuous democratic practice since independence.
Welcome back.